What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. Again, big thanks for all you who have subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you haven't, go ahead and do that. Turn on your notifications, like, and comment. Today for you, we have a little comparison video from last year's team versus this year's team, Sooner softball team. There's a lot of similarities, but there's also some improvements as well. And it's you think, how do you improve off of last year? Well, ladies and gentlemen, they are doing it. They're finding different ways to be better. Hunter's going to drop some stats here. Specifically, though, the long ball is significantly up this year. And that may be surprising because of the slow start, but you've seen what they've done lately. I think they've hit 78 home runs this year compared to 64 at this time last year. But, yeah, that's not the only increase in improvement, Hunter, is it?
No, it is not. You're correct on that. Home runs are up 14 through 35 games last year to the 35 games that they have played this year, up to 78 on the year compared to last year's 64. And last year, that takes you through the first game against Texas Tech on April 6th. So Oklahoma has improved in pretty much everything. Runs, they're up. Once again, by about 20 there, 19 to be exact. Hits are up by only 7, but they're still up. RBIs are up by about 20. Batting average is also up by 19. Those are the big offensive numbers that stick out so far this year for the Sooners.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can be this far into the season, have the exact same record, and doing better than they were last year at this time hitting. And it seems like as we've gone throughout the season, we've thought, man, even early in the years, this team are they struggling? This team's dominating right now, and especially at the plate. And Hunter, individually, there is a lot of improvements. I mean, so many players I know in the top 10 of the Big 12 in batting. I don't know how many total in the total over batting over 400, but quite a bit, right? Seven players batting
35 games. You're over halfway of the season now. You have 7 players over 400.
Keep in mind, the team they just played, Kansas, their leading hitter, 317 average. OU has 7 over 400. You kidding me? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
go ahead, Hunter.
The stat that looking through these, once you get them all added up, that stood out to me the most is JT Gasso's talked about a lot, but I feel like he's not even talked about enough with how much he helps the approach for this team at the plate. Walks are up this year, 186 walks. Last year through 35 games, 139. It's over 40 walks more this year in the same amount of games. That's impressive. And you're seeing it, seems like you're seeing it the most from younger players. That's one thing that JT has stood out with freshmen. They're teaching them approaches and just I mean, there's some things you can't teach a batter with an eye, but JT Gasso is able to give those tips and tricks that makes a elite batter go to the even beyond that elite level at the plate.
Yeah, and people may think, well, this is just so surprising that a team can continue to get better. But really, when you look at it, they had nearly everyone back. The experience. The surprising thing would be the freshmen that are also doing this. Like you said, that is the surprise. Ella Parker, Cassidy Pickering, you put their numbers in there, they're right there with the best of them on this team. And then the other thing that's not surprising that's up, because we had Joe Padula on, the strength and conditioning coach, and he said it was going to be an intentional effort to steal more bags this year, and it's up by 11. So, while, yes, that's an increase, it's not surprising because they probably put on a whiteboard every day at practice. It's something they talk about every day. This is why this team is different than other teams, right? And so, to me, that's why it's not as surprising.
Yeah, stolen bases are up 11. Last year, through 35 games, they were at 30. This year, they're at 41. So, yeah, Padula has fulfilled that expectation he established for the Sooner softball team so far this year, getting more action on the base path.
Yeah, and you mentioned the base on balls. To me, that is the biggest reason why they are hitting with such high average and even getting the home runs they're hitting, because I think pitchers, you can't just miss with Oklahoma. If you barely miss, they're not swinging at it. You have to groove one in there, and then they're making you pay with it. I mean, this team, to pitch good against this team, you have to pretty much paint corners all day long. And even if you do, you've seen what Tiari Jennings has been doing, balls even on the corner, smashing them. Okay. They are unbelievable. I would also say with JT Gasso, with the patience at the plate, with the eye. Also, I think his scouting of pitchers is second to none. I mean, they know where pitches are going to be. They know where to go with them. It's like a science. This team's like a machine, guys. Literally, they're like a hitting machine.
Yeah, look what they did to Katie Brooks
Yeah.
this past weekend. Pitcher that had not allowed a home run all season. Jada Coleman goes yard. First at bat of the game. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and listen, we'd be remiss to do a comparison video and not speak on the pitching, though, guys. That has to be talked about. And a lot of people are very critical of Nakome, very critical of this staff when they allow a few runs. Now, I think that is partly exaggerated by the fans. Now, their ERA, S.J. Guerin just allowed her first earned run this past weekend. Most of their ERAs are in the one. I think they're all in the ones. Is Nicole May as low as she was last year? No. I think they have 211 Ks through 210 innings. So they're still averaging a little above a strikeout per inning. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on, is the staff and how they progress for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, ERA is up this year by about 0.4. But, I mean, the column that matters the most, win-loss, it's identical, 34-1 through 35 games. Pitching has had bad moments, but really the last few weeks they've improved. That's what matters the most, is that you have seen that improvement in Big 12 play as they head into arguably the biggest series of the year on the road in Austin against the Longhorns.
Yeah, and I think pitching, as much as we can sit here and talk about stats about pitching, I think the big thing right now, I would say, just personally watching the pitching staff that I'm watching for, there's one thing I'm watching for, and that's which one of, I'm going to say specifically Deal, May, and Maxwell. Which one of those three do I feel like would say, give me the ball in the biggest game of the year? And you knew what you had with Jordy Ball emotionally, everything charged behind that. Who is going to be that pitcher this year? Because I don't think any of them are very, I wouldn't say any of them are very like vocal or high energy players. Would you? I think May be the most out of those three, possibly Deal. Maxwell's a very calm, cool, collected pitcher.
I get what you're saying on the three starters. At first, I was a little confused there because Monticelli is pretty fiery.
Well, but I'm talking about starters.
I mean, starters, I think, even though she's not super vocal, it's going to be Kelly Maxwell. I mean, look at what she's done. She is, ever since the struggles out of the bullpen as a starter, she's been lights out. Nearly had another no-hitter on Kansas. Was one out away from that. Got the complete game, only allowed one run, and that 6-1 to win. So an experienced veteran like that, senior transfer from Oklahoma State, played in the College World Series before. I feel like that's the pitches. It's going to be, give me the ball, let me get in the circle, and let's go win this thing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, someone's personality is something that really can't be changed. So that's just the way it is. And listen, the comparison are there. We just compared it. The increase is showing, but none of it actually matters, because if you don't win the Natty this year, it doesn't matter how many more bombs you hit, how lower your ERA is. That is going to be the hinge factor. And I think this team is progressing towards that. And in the end, that is what will matter the most. But listen, they are well on pace to do what they've done last year when people said that was arguably the greatest team of all time. And now they're actually doing better on paper in many, many areas. So there you have it. Be interesting to see how they progress. Big series against the team across the Red River this weekend. And thanks for watching the content here at the Sooner Surge. Appreciate it. Till next time. Boomer.